Our story begins with Keki, a second-year top student of the Shomi Academy, who's reading a book on the train. When he arrives at the school, he sees a girl named Sugui trying to recruit people for her club, the Shomi Happy Project. Everybody ignores her, and he decides to do the same. He walks some meters but suddenly receives a text from the shepherd, a myth at the school, warning him about a life-changing event that will happen to him. After that, he has a vision of Sugui being run over by a train. He runs fast to reach the girl and pulls her away, making her trip and fall, and they end up together, with his hands on her, giving him the pervert label in the eyes of the other students. Calm because he thinks he's never going to see her again, Keki goes to class, where his good friend Iki makes fun of him by showing him a picture from that morning, which has been uploaded to the school's website. To make matters worse, the girl is sitting just a few seats away from him. Later during lunch, Maho, the student council president, approaches him to try to recruit him due to his high grades. Keki thanks her but refuses, more interested in reading than anything else, letting the girl leave, feeling rejected. Keki walks around the school, thinking about the pros and cons. Shomi is the biggest school in Japan and offers a perfect environment for people with clear goals and strong motivations, but it's also a place where people who don't want to do anything with their lives can simply loiter around if they get the right amount of credits. Keki keeps walking and remembers the myth of the shepherd, an entity that rewards hard-working students by granting them a wish, but he thinks this rumor is just spam. As he calmly walks, a group of girls led by Tamamo, Sugui's best friend, stops him and demands that he apologize to Sugui. Keki tries to explain about his vision and how he only tried to save Sugui, but the girls don't believe him. He has to run away to avoid being beaten up. As he escapes, he comes across Tusu, who corners him in a little alley to apologize for the scandal of not being clear with her friend. Tamamo finds them and assumes Keki is bothering her friend again, but Sugui yells at her for the first time, explaining that Keki didn't do anything bad. Tamamo apologizes to him, and Keki, now an internet celebrity, thinks people will get over it in a day or two. As soon as he finishes that sentence and stands up to leave, he sees a large group of people gathering, ready to beat him up, all completely outraged to be sharing the school with him. One huge guy tries to face Keki, but Iki saves him easily since he's part of the karate club. Watching the mess they created, Sugui tries to defend Keki but stutters and shuts up due to nervousness. Keki tells her to repeat what he says, and she ends up saying she gave her consent. Everyone freezes for a moment, processing the fact that all the commotion ended up being over just a misunderstanding. In the heat of the moment, Keki takes Sugui and his friend to the library club to be alone. Sugui asks him to join her club to be happy, although he actually doesn't know what activities they'll do. Maho interrupts and refuses to let Keki join her club, as she wants him to do more important things. Keki doesn't care about either option, but he recognizes that Sugui is searching for something beyond words that he doesn't yet understand, so he accepts being part of her club for a certain period of time. Iki scares Maho away, saying she's being way too aggressive. Just as they get closer, Keki joins the club, and the girls are happy about it. Before Sugui could take the picture she wanted, they all receive a text from the shepherd congratulating them, which truly scares them. Immediately after, another staff member of the library, Naji, enters the room, asking them to quiet down. As everyone leaves, Naji and a mysterious man look at Keki, and the man tells Naji that Keki is another candidate to be a shepherd, just like her. The next day, Sugui appears at the club's door to be with Keki but finds him focused on his books. She does everything she can to get his attention, only succeeding when she places candy in his mouth. She takes him to pick up trash to help people, as she takes the initiative because she's the leader. The guys try to follow her lead but fail when Iki and Keki start playing, getting scolded by Tamamo. Sugui and Keki are giving away flyers when Kana, the waitress who served Keki and Iki the previous day, approaches to get one. She tells Keki that as Maho has fixed his image, he's now seen as a hero at school and that she'd like to join their club because it seems fun to help others. While Keki is picking up trash, he spots a girl looking for something under a vending machine. He helps her retrieve her coin, and in return, she buys him a drink. Both of them leave, unaware that they have been spotted by Naji, who approaches the spot and finds a case the girl left behind. The group gathers again after finishing their task, and Tamamo shows them the information she gathered about the shepherd. They conclude that it's the first time the shepherd communicated via email, as he usually sends letters or speaks face to face. Kana tells them that she also received an email but can't show it because it's on her PC, and she doesn't have a phone, having broken her last one. As they walk, Keki finds the case Naji spotted earlier. When they open it, they find a tuning fork. They turn the case and see that it has a name carved on it, so they take it to Lost and Found. The girl in charge of the Lost and Found segment tells them they're no longer holding that activity but asks to see the case, revealing that it belongs to Masano Senri, the song princess. They walk home, thinking the girl was hiding information. Ka says goodbye, asking to join them the next day, and Sugui tells them she'll look for Masano, as she believes the tuning fork holds sentimental value for her. Keki decides to accompany her. As they walk and chat, they come across the same girl Keki helped earlier, Masano. Sugui gives her the case and compliments the tuning fork's beauty. Masano thinks they only helped her because she's the song princess, but they explain they're doing volunteer work and that she can call them whenever she's in trouble. The next day, Keki finds Sugui waiting at the club's door again and congratulates her for helping Masano, who's quite famous. Sugui explains she didn't help her because of her fame, she just wanted to return something important. Keki realizes that Sugui helps people selflessly, something he feels he couldn't do. He starts trusting her more, even giving her the key to the room that used to be his sanctuary so she doesn't have to wait for him every day. Later, every member of the club is in the room, and Keki takes the opportunity to show them the new phone that Sugui helped him choose the previous night. They are exchanging phones when they receive another email from the shepherd, instructing them to find Masano again. The group becomes suspicious when Kana reveals that she didn't give her email address to anyone else, so they think they need a hacker to trace the emails. Kana tells them that a member of the cafeteria staff, Yurino Sami, can help. Though everyone is surprised, they quickly divide into groups. Kana and Keki would ask for Sami's help, while the others search for Masano. Ka tries her best to start a conversation with Kaki, but he tells her that she doesn't have to work so hard, he's fine with the silence. Ka accepts to help, but not for free. When Kaki tells her they can't pay her, she simply asks for them to give away flyers for a cafeteria event. Meanwhile, the rest of the group finds Masano, but they aren't able to talk much since she has been running away from her singing practice. Back at the club, the guys exchange information, and Tamamo complains about Masano, saying she hates people who don't keep practicing their talents. Kiki changes the topic, reminding them that the condition Maho put in was for them to give away the flyers in cosplay. Kaki thinks he won't have to do cosplay since they only have one butler costume, but Tsugumi offers to wear the other one and asks to take Kiki's measurements. Nagi approaches their room, upset because they keep being noisy despite her requests for silence. She grabs the handle but stops when she hears suspicious noises from inside. Ashamed, she thinks Suji and Kiki are doing something inappropriate but enters anyway, only to find them in an innocent position. Embarrassed, she leaves, assuming the worst. As classes end, it starts to rain, causing Masa to run back home. Kiki arrives at his place and finds Nagi soaking wet. Both are surprised to discover their neighbors, especially Kiki, since it's always been so quiet. When they enter their houses, Nagi gets sad, mentioning she doesn't remember the last time she saw her friends. Meanwhile, Masano doesn't get home. The next day at school, Sui made cushions for all the club members, each with a little animal that reminded her of them. They receive a message from Masano asking for help, so they go to her house. The girls ask the boys to stay back for a moment. When they knock on the door and get no response, Toma thinks Masano might not be able to answer, so she opens the door and finds her laying on the floor with a high fever. Iki and Kiki rush to get medicine while the girl tends to Masano, who clings to Sui's hand, begging her not to leave, mistaking her for her mother due to the fever. Suji and Tamamo decide to stay the night and send everyone else home. The next day, Sui sends an email to everyone, informing them that Masano is recovering. Kiki takes a nap and dreams of a man taking him away as a child, but he's awakened by the doorbell. Maho states she has to stop working, so she barges into Kiki's room to watch TV. She takes the chance to ask Kiki if he's dating Sugui, saying she doesn't mind but they shouldn't do anything at the library. Kiki tries to explain what happened but only ends up embarrassing himself further. The next day at the club, the girls tell the boys that Masano received the same email as them 3 days prior. Just then, Kana enters the room, revealing that Sui found the address where the emails were sent from. When they go there, however, they find only an abandoned house. Kiki starts to have weird memories in the form of dreams and wakes up on the night of April 26 to a text from Segui, realizing she should give him a response about staying in the group longer. Kiki tells Segui about what they found, but she refuses to help further until they pay her for the cosplay. They're now pretty famous, but not more than the new girl dressed as a maid, who is actually Suji, who made an accident while creating his costume. He has to pose as a girl during the event. Kiki rescues him from the boys surrounding him, and they take Kiki to the club to freshen up. Ka stays to touch up Kiki's makeup, telling him she's really enjoying the club. They suddenly find themselves too close, causing Ka to back up, hinting at her feelings for Kiki. Masano arrives at the cafeteria to thank Segui for taking care of her. Segui invites her to join the cosplay, but when Masano mentions her fame, she gets upset. Thinking they're only trying to use her, Kiki runs after her, urging her not to misunderstand Segui's selfless intentions. He explains that, like her, he didn't believe in selflessness either, but Segui has proved him wrong time and again. Besides, it's fun being around them. Masano agrees, and they return to the group. Segui apologizes for her careless words, and Masano accepts, allowing Segui to dress her as a maid with cat ears, turning her into the event's sensation. As they have tons of fun, Masano allows herself to go with the flow. On the way back home, Segui invites her to join them at the library the next day. After she sees the cat that hangs around them, Masano accepts. The next day, the guys are excited to see Masano, but they're disappointed when Kiki enters the room. Masano arrives as promised, and Sui gives her a cushion she made for her, featuring a cat and a musical note. Soon, Nagi enters to scold them again, and Kana invites her to a bathhouse to make up for it since the hot water is out in the dorms. While they take a bath, Ka starts to fuss about her friend's size compared to hers. The guys can only listen to their chatter and talk about how long they plan to stay in the project. The girls notice that Nagi seems too friendly with Kiki, and noticing her jealousy, she tells them she's been in his room, but doesn't say they're a couple, making the girls feel resentful towards him and even ignore him when they leave the bathhouse. Segui pulls Kiki aside to talk, and he thinks it might be something bad due to the girl's attitude. She explains that since they'll have to give him her answer tomorrow, she wanted to explain why she started the club. It turns out she has a sister 2 years younger who has been in a hospital for a long time. Segui thought she couldn't attend the academy, so she told her stories about it, ultimately lying about it being a fun place and how many friends she had. She made a huge effort to make her lies come true and apologizes, feeling like a terrible person for it. Kiki reassures her, saying she's wonderful for the strength she shows in making others happy. He promises to give her a straight answer the next day. Kiki seems to have enjoyed the past few days but thinks it's time to stop and return to his routine. He arrives at the club, where the guys have prepared a surprise birthday party for him. As they sing, "Happy Birthday," he starts to feel a cozy warmth he's never felt before, prompting him to decide to stay and figure out what that feeling is. Back at home, Kiki sends an email to the shepherd, asking what it would take for him to meet him. The shepherd replies that they'll have a proper talk when Kiki discovers his identity. The club is suddenly overwhelmed with work, from cleaning pools to giving advice to students, all thanks to the popularity they earned due to Kiki's cosplay. Kiki is pensive, not expecting the shepherd to answer his text. However, the influx of student interviews does not allow him to be distracted. Nagi breaks in, complaining about the mess the students are making, but no one seems to remember her, forcing Kiki to refresh their memory. She explains that the girl in charge of the library wants them out. The guys go to see her and apologize.